Welcome to Confident Connections, the podcast that helps you show up with confidence and connect with people on a deeper level. I'm Lisa Liu, and here we break down the small signals that create big impact, body language, presence, and the simple habits that help you communicate with ease, increase your influence, and magnify your impact. You'll learn how to make strong first impressions, build trust faster, and feel more confident in any conversation or setting. If you're ready to improve your communication skills and create connections that move your life and your leadership forward, you are in the right place. Welcome to the Confident Connections podcast. I've been really excited about this episode, and I don't know if you've noticed, I've really tried to keep our episodes a little bit tighter. I just launched this podcast in December, and as I get feedback and as I move forward, I really want to make this what's going to serve you best. So my goal is just to give you as much value as I possibly can in a short amount of time as I possibly can. And today, we're finally talking about mirroring, because what mirroring does is it builds rapport quickly. However, the caveat is that it can be done very weirdly, and there's many people who do not use it correctly, and I want the best for you, so I want to make sure you know how and when to use mirroring, why you should use mirroring, and what that can look like in a natural way that doesn't make you look like you are copying somebody, because that's not what we're talking about. So, why mirroring? Subtle mirroring creates unconscious connection. Why? Why does it do this? Because we are attracted to like. Like attracts like. And when we have Me Too moments in anything, think about, you just got back from a trip to Korea and somebody else just got back from a trip to Korea. There's this instant Me Too moment and you feel like you just met your best friend. Well, on a smaller, more subtle scale, mirroring can do the exact same thing. So what are we talking about mirroring exactly? Three things, okay? Your posture, your pace, and your energy needs to mirror the person in front of you. We're not talking about copying. So when I say copying, I want you to picture this. I'm standing in front of you. I cross my arms, then you cross your arms. Then I put one foot back and you've put one foot back. Then I put my hands on my hips and you put your hands on your hips. Do you see where this is going? Do you feel a little awkward right now? Because I feel awkward even explaining it. That is not mirroring. That is copying, and it's weird. Don't do it. Okay? All right. So what we are talking about is a subtle matching of the person in front of you. So I want to talk for a moment about energy and pace before we even get to posture. When I say energy, let's say you are a super energetic person. Okay, people tell me I have a lot of energy. However, if you get in front of somebody who talks much slower and who just has a pace that does not meet or match your energy, your job is to meet them where they are. Now, that does not mean you become them. It doesn't mean that if you're super high energy and they move in slow motion, you suddenly move in slow motion. However, you do try to match to a degree, because that's going to make them feel more seen and understood than you staying super high energy and super, fast talking if you're a fast talker or whatever. They're not going to relate to you. That breaks connection. We want to create connection in our business and our relationships when we meet someone new, right? We want to match pace and energy. So if you are someone who is a little bit maybe more introverted and you do move a little slower and you meet somebody who is more high energy, who talks a little bit faster, it would behoove you to match them to a degree. So maybe instead of talking like this, you just tend to talk like this. You just pick up your pace a little bit if that's their pace and try to match them, because then It's like literally speaking the same language. If you speak Spanish and you meet somebody who speaks Spanish, you're going to speak Spanish to that person, right? Because that's their native language. You just learned Spanish. Wow, now this person feels connected to you. It's the same thing. It's just language with our body. It is our body language. So that's pace and energy. Look, we are all getting older, but if you're anything like me and you just want to look the best you can as you age, but you want to do it naturally, this is something you might want to hear. By the way, amazing for men and women. I have a before and after on my Instagram page. If you go to Lisa Lou Impact and look at my highlight reel that says frownies, have you heard of frownies? Then you're going to see my before picture from years ago. So I was far younger than I am today, obviously, and the difference is unbelievable. No Botox, no fillers. This is all natural. It is a safe alternative. When used consistently, it's going to bring you amazing results. If you'd like to give Frownies a try for a discount, go to lisalouimpact.com/frownies and use the code LisaLou. That's lisalouimpact.com/frownies, code LisaLou for a discount, and I will link it in the show notes. Let's talk about posture. If someone does cross their arms, which is not the end-all worst thing in the world, I don't want, because this is where the subtlety comes in, that I really want to give you this as a nuance. If I'm talking to somebody and they cross their arms, I'm not going to immediately cross my arms. But let's say they hold it there for a little while. I may stand there, and when I'm done talking and they're talking, maybe then I do cross my arms for, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, not real long, because I don't want to come across as blocked off. At the same time, that's a posture and a position they feel comfortable in, so I might just match them for a very short period of time. Similarly, maybe you're sitting across a table from them and they're using their hands are folded and underneath their chin. Well, if they go to that motion, I'm not going to immediately go to that motion. It's subtle, and I'm not mimicking every motion. I'm just every now and then picking one or two, maybe 3 different things, depending on the length of our conversation, to do that they are doing with my body, okay? So that there just is a more subconscious connection to me from them. So again, I want to make sure you understand this is not meeting motion for motion. That's copying. What we're talking about is in the course of a 20, 30, 40-minute conversation, even a 10-minute conversation, you would maybe 1 or 2 times just, how like right now I just went to do it. Like I went to cross my arm over my body. So I'm kind of holding my opposite waist, and then I'm propping my chin on my fist. And so my other elbow is kind of resting on that arm that's around my waist, if you can picture that. People talk like that sometimes. So maybe they're standing there and they're talking like that or listening to me like that. Well, then when it's volleyed and it's their turn to talk, I may mirror and do that same thing for just a few moments. What happens is on a subconscious level, they feel a Me Too moment. They're not going to consciously think, oh, she just did exactly what I just did in my body language. Because we're being subtle, we're not holding it for long, and we're not doing it the moment they do it, so they shouldn't even consciously notice it, but subconsciously they will, and it builds trust, and it builds rapport so much more quickly, okay? All right, so that is your tip on mirroring. Now, your communication tip for the week. I want you to match the communication pace of the person that you're talking to. Try to match the communication pace and see if you feel a shift in the conversation. So if you're someone who has never paid attention to this before, and you know someone who either talks maybe a little slower than you, someone who talks a little faster than you, I want you to try to match their pace and see if that shifts the conversation just a little bit. And then your challenge that I want to give you for this week is I want you to be okay to sit in just a little bit of silence instead of going for speed. So if you are someone who tends to talk fast or with a lot of energy, I want you in particular to take a moment and allow for a little space in your conversations. I don't mean necessarily slow way down, but get comfortable with space. If you are a more introverted, slower talker, you're probably already pretty comfortable with space. But my fast talkers, my real high energy people, we're not always very comfortable with that. And I want you to get comfortable with it. Why? Because when you allow some space in the conversation, it actually signals confidence. And I want that for you. All right, that's it for today. Thank you so much for hanging with me. Do me a favor, rate and review this podcast if it's blessing you. Please also consider sending it to a friend. That helps me get the word out. I can't wait to see you back here next time. And until then, make sure that your next connection is your very best connection. Bye for now.